Hi, it's LindaLee, and welcome back to my channel. I have actually been talking to you for several minutes, and this is like my my third try trying to get a recording to you guys. I've been losing power. I don't know what's going on. But let's try again. I've backtracked and kind of put things aside so I can kind of show you what I've been meaning to show you on this video. What we're doing is we're looking at my design team project for tsunami-rose.net. And what I've been doing is working on a journal using her Azalea paper pack. And the paper pack, I believe it's set 1, 2, and 3. And I've printed some of it on cardstock and some of it on regular copy paper. And you can see I haven't really done any kind of stamping, stenciling, or distressing yet on any of the pages. I've just started putting it together. I did start working a new job, so it's been taking me away from my craft table. But we're back at it today, and I just kind of wanted to show you a little bit of, just my putting everything together. So it's going to be 2 signatures. We got about 12 pages in each one, and I have a book here. It's going to be a hardcover journal that I already kind of gutted, so I already did that, and we're gonna put it together. I don't know how much of the green I'm gonna leave showing. I still have to do some decorating, obviously. I've done this a couple of times. I don't know if any of it's salvageable, if I have to do the whole thing over again. I don't know. But let's keep moving. So this is some avocado dyed fabric. It's just cotton, so it's an old soft bed sheet. I don't know if it's like vintage or antique or anything. Oh, look at little bits of avocado. But I'm going to use it somewhere in the journal, even if I just tear a piece and it's, the tie closure. But I think I might use it in part of the cover. But look at how pretty it matches. The avocado dyed paper, the avocado dyed fabric, the azalea paper. These are the threads that I'm going to use because I'm going to do some sewing too. This is just a newer spool. I don't know. Did they say the colors on these at all? I don't even know. Yeah, it does say the color. It's just a number though. So, color 592. But this is a roll out of my grandma's sewing box. So my grandma had passed in 1977. So this is really old. It's an old, it's the same company, so apparently they've been around for a long time. But at the same time, we're going to give this old thread some love with Daisy Collins's papers because they look so pretty together. I do have a little bit of this cardstock color too that kind of coordinates really nice. So I've got a couple of pads started using her papers, and these are different papers from her collections, and what I'll try and do is tag them all in the description. But I got a couple little pads started. I cut some of her collage, the journal collage pages down. You can see this one is the only one I've got distressed so far. So these are going to be tags that I'll decorate and stamp and stencil. I have to look through my napkins. Maybe I have a pretty napkin that'll kind of coordinate with all of it too. Let me set this aside real quick so that I can have a more solid background to show you a couple more things. I do have some postcards already cut and distressed. I haven't done anything with the back sides yet, but these are also from the tsunami-rose.net collections. I've done a little bit of fussy cutting and this is from the Azalea paper pack. I'm going to use them probably as tuck spots and decoration on the inside of the signature cover pages that I had done on cardstock, because these are also on cardstock. So I need to do a little bit of distressing on these before I start attaching and using them as pockets. When I was doing the tags, they were too long, you know, using the width of the paper. So what I did is I just kind of cut down the papers and notched out the corners. So I'm going to make some tickets out of these little cards, so you can kind of see those little notches. And all I did with that is used my 1-inch circle punch. So I just kind of put it at the corners and chunk around the piece itself. So now I'm getting stumbly on my words. I'm sorry. What else? All right, so I have some avocado dyed envelopes. So set that aside. This here is another piece of the TsunamiRose.net papers that I trimmed doing her cards, or the tags. So I just kind of glued 2 envelopes together. We're going to make a little booklet out of it. So I got the tuck spots, or the pockets, still available. But I'm going to put some pages in here. So I use some of her papers. And then some offcuts. So there'll be long tags or bookmarks. I haven't decided kind of how I'm going to decorate with those yet. And then this here, what I did is these are some distressed papers. So I've got my avocado dyed papers, some coffee stained graph paper, lightly coffee stained ledger paper, but we're going to make a little removable journal pocket page booklet. And then this right here, I always like to make something that can be removed from a journal that can still be used for journaling. So this right here just has some dyed paper. So avocado dyed. This is a document page that's avocado dyed. This is coffee stained graph paper and lightly coffee stained journaling paper too, or ledger paper, sorry. So anyway, I've got all that so far. Lots of work yet to do, but I kind of wanted to bring you up to speed with at least where I'm at. So with all that being said, let's do a little bit of distressing, because I got a lot of that to do. I've got some newer inks here, and I want to do some quick distressing real fast. Now this Gathered Twigs is my ultimate favorite of the browns. I also have another one that I use a lot. It's called Cocoa. It's also a Ranger dye, but it doesn't have the Tim Holtz on it, but it's still Ranger. I like to use that one too. So the one thing about the newer ink pads too is you have a tendency to pick up a lot more ink. So I don't know. It's showing a lot of my So that was super speed. All right, so now let's go ahead and do a little stenciling. I think. I'm gonna use some of my green. So this is called Bundled Sage. There we go. Okay, so I've got some distressing and stenciling. Now my script stamp. Let's do with this cocoa because it's a little bit different color. So I'm just going to do some random script stamping. Let's see, which way is top? This way is top. Now I don't want to do a lot of script stamping, but just a hint here and there. Okay, so other than potentially putting, gluing something on, because this side needs decorating still. I distressed them, but they're not really decorated. So I'm going to probably punch holes in all of these. That or staple tabs to them. I haven't decided. See, there's still a lot of stuff I haven't decided. But I want to thank you for hanging out this far, this long. And I will be sure to show you my progress in another video very, very soon. Hi, welcome back. I have been kind of at it all day. I've been doing my distressing and I did some sewing, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of progress before I move on again, because I'll probably start doing some decorating. But before we go there, let me show you. Okay, here's the signatures. So, I dropped some stuff. With the signatures, I didn't really do anything yet. In fact, I didn't even do the distressing around the edges yet. I have to still do that. But what I did was, I was running out of thread. So I wanted to make sure that I kind of got everything stitched before that really happened, because I hate to get stuck in the middle. But anyway, I didn't use either of these threads. Once I kind of looked at what was in the machine, I had a chocolate brown. And considering the different prints and the colorings that are in Daisy's papers, I figured, well, the chocolate brown would actually look pretty good. So that's what I did, is I just used the chocolate brown and did some stitching. I haven't sewn this together yet. I did the distressing. So I've got you know, some stenciling and distressing around the edges. I didn't do any script stamp on this one. I might still do it, I don't know. But I didn't do it on that. Now I still have to do that kind of distressing on the inside covers. But what I did do for the inside covers is I did some pockets. So remember that fussy cut stuff that I did? This here, I didn't sew them together. So what I did is I had sewn each of them. But what I find a lot of times in doing that, when I put the glue on, because it gives the glue something to grab, is sometimes it's a good thing, and it holds a little better. So what I'll do is I'll glue this to here. Now this right here is actually, if I can find something to tuck in the spot, where I fussy cut. Okay, so when we stick things in here, we have this, and then we also have the pocket itself, is this. So we have the fussy cut pieces, and then this as a pocket for that. Now I didn't do that on all of them, but I did do it for this one. Okay, they're not all, of course, going to go on this corner, but I've got my fussy cut, and I've got, you know, something to use as a tuck behind. And then I did this one too. So this is a fussy cut, and it can go, you know, either way, like any of them can. So we have this to go behind once it's affixed, and then this to go behind as well. So we've got the azaleas in there in fussy cut. But I did that stitching too. I will probably do some decorating, as in, you know, using some fabrics and lace. I've got a couple of tuck pockets for this side. Okay, I don't have any fussy cut on that. I didn't want to do the same thing for all of them. So I've got a couple of those. And let me move these so you can kind of course, this is kind of distracting anyway. I stitched around my tickets. All right, and again, I don't have any toppers on them yet, but I wanted to do the chocolate brown. So I have my stenciling done on these. I didn't put the little flowers on it. Like I said, I didn't want everything to be the same. So these I stapled together. Now probably gonna put some lace on the top and decorate this up a little bit. I do have some stenciling done on the backs. And then I distressed around the edges. The little booklet that I made, I did some stitching and stenciling on that. So these are my envelopes. I had something going on with the tension in my sewing machine, but I kind of like it when my stitches aren't, you know, necessarily uniform. So I just kind of kept going with it. These are the papers. Now I did coffee treat all of the papers, even in the signatures. So what I did is I sprayed them with coffee, both on the top and the bottom. I don't know if you guys have ever seen me do my finger painting with coffee, but yeah, I kind of did that technique. And what happens is with the kind of printer that I have, when it gets wet, some of the ink bleeds through to the other side. So instead of it being a stark white piece of paper, I've got a little bit of decoration. I'm just using the ink that's already in the paper. So I coffee stained some ledger paper. These are more of Daisy's Tsunami Rose papers. Avocado paper. I obviously didn't coffee stain the avocado paper, but so see how the ink comes through? Isn't that cool? So anyway, there's less distressing that I do because that decoration is already there. So will I distress? I probably might. I don't know. But these are going to be sewn into here. And then I'll do little cards to put into here so that the outer edges of this booklet have a little bit of firmness to them. And you know me, I like my strings, so there's going to be strings all over the place on this. But let me show you some of the pages in the signature. So I did do, like I said, the coffee staining. So I have the ink that came through. You can kind of see a little bit of the coffee staining. So it was a light coffee treatment. I wanted to kind of get that texture on the paper and have a little bit of the ink come through. So, and this is some ledger paper. But see, look at the back side. Isn't that pretty? And it's so easy just to write on top of. That's what I did today. Again, ink coming through. I coffee stained my book pages just very, very lightly. And even this paper, some of the ink came through a little bit. So it's not, like I said, stark white anymore. This was the drawing paper, avocado paper, graph paper. And I haven't decided what to put in the middle of each signature. But both of the signatures are pretty much the same. And they both have those, pages where the ink is coming through. So my strings. So I just wanted to do that real quick. And then that'll probably tie up this particular video. I'll just do some editing to put it all together. As far as the cover is concerned, I haven't done too much with that yet. I did kind of tear one of the pages that I did on cardstock. And I think ultimately I'm going to end up decorating this front and use this on here and then put more stuff. But I really do like the green. And think I'm going to go with a little more green than I originally planned. When I sew the signatures in, I'm going to do it before I do the front cover because I'm going to stitch it right through this right here instead of doing like the, what's it called, the invisible, I want to say the hidden spine, that's it, invisible. But once I sew it, then what I'll do is I'll probably cover it and then use this as the strip that I'll glue in the middle so that I can tie it. Because again, it still coordinates really well with my coloring. But that's the direction I'm going so far. So now you're caught up. And the next video will be probably more on the actual decorating. I just want to, kind of put the high gear in on this one so that I can get it done and satisfy my design team obligation and start on another one. But I really love what's happening with this. I love the colors. I love the texture. Her papers, this is the first time I've really played with the TsunamiRose.net design papers. And Daisy has got so many of them to choose from that I'm really looking forward to more design team projects. So anyway, that's all I got for the moment. So I will talk to you again very soon. And some of this might be put together by then. And we will do a little bit of decorating so we can do some, toppers on the tags and get some lace down on the pages. And we'll do some of it together instead of me just showing you what I've done. So that's it. Thank you. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.